let's move into the coaching stuff, obviously, because like we were talking about off air, it's pretty well publicized at this point. I'm pretty sure the state put out an article and others have talked about it on social media. You got the Letterman hat on. Obviously, you guys had a meeting of sorts on Saturday, Zoom call with Coach Tanner. And I think the thing that's been really interesting with this, whether guys have been voicing their support for, the popular names, Shane Beamer, Billy Napier, whoever it is, you've seen a lot of, I think, former players come out of the woodworks, at least on social media, and they're letting their voice be heard. I was able to talk to guys like DJ Swearinger and Aldrich Fordham and these other, South Carolina greats, if you will, that they've all got opinions on it. They've all got opinions on what they'd like to see, at least see from the next head coach, the qualities. But let's stick to that call first. Obviously, you don't have to go in any great detail. Obviously, what's behind closed doors is behind closed doors. But I think they said there were about 40 to 50 former players on there. Was it pretty good bit?
Yeah, it was a good bit. I mean, it was a lot. I just saw the names keep piling on. I mean, I was probably one of the first 20 to get on it. And then you just I see all my former teammates names popping up.
Right.
Enter the combo. But
so, I was just going to say, just like again, you don't have to go into great detail, but just like, what did you feel like the overall vibe was from that? Did you feel like it was a productive meeting? Obviously, you guys were able to talk to Coach Tanner. Just the overall vibe from it.
Yeah. I won't get into too much detail on what Coach Tanner said, but I'll kind of give you some ideas of what the players, our thoughts were. So basically, we kind of threw around. There was kind of 4 names really thrown around that a lot of the former players mentioned. They put in queue before we got on the call, just so that the names were thrown out there. Obviously, Coach Tanner is not allowed to directly comment on anything. Can't do it.
Right.
So we got on there. Some guys gave their opinions, asked questions. I more or less just sat back and listened, but I did submit a question. But I think so many of us had the same question: is what are we looking for in a coach? And basically, are you willing to take the advice from former players that have been there and done that? And obviously, he is, or he wouldn't have took a Zoom call with us, right? So we know the answer to that. And Coach Tanner, I mean, he's one of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been a coach. That's what he is.
Yeah.
And so basically, we threw out the names. Obviously, there was Shane Beamer mentioned. There was Napier mentioned. Deuce Staley, Chris Rump, and obviously Hugh Freeze was mentioned. That was kind of the 5 names that were mentioned by former players. Basically, I think the expression that all the former players gave is, we want to see somebody here that actually wants to be here, that wants to be at South Carolina, that thinks South Carolina is their dream job, and that really cares about the university, the people around the university, the former players, and the fans as a whole. Like, they want somebody who actually cares about this university. And we would like to see some of the guys who are former players that are coaching today have the opportunity to be in the program in some way, shape, or form, whether that be as a coach, administrative role somehow. But that's kind of what our sentiment was to Ray, is to let him know that this is how we feel and this is how it should be done. Because you look up the road at Clemson. So just go through and look at all their analysts, coaches, administration roles. Tons of guys.
I mean, just for example, they just brought back a CJ Spiller, I think, over the summer or something like that.
So tons of guys that all played football at Clemson. So that's what it's about.
Right.
Okay.
That's where that family
there's
type
so
of
many
atmosphere
qualified guys that I played with or that played after me that are coaches right now.
One of your guys, I think, Nashawn Goddard. He's a offensive. I've had him on.
Yeah, you got Nashawn. You got Cedric Williams.
Yeah.
Cedric's done all kind of stuff with the NFL. Being a college offensive line coach at Georgia State. I mean, you got guys like that. I mean, you got Jeff Barnes. He's a great O-line coach. I mean, I could go on and on with the list of guys. I mean, I was just talking to Dondrell Pinkins yesterday. And, I mean, he's a head coach at Pelham High School, and he was a head coach at his former high school.
Really?
And he's been doing nothing but winning. I mean, that's all he does. And then, obviously, you got Rod Wilson that's on staff now. and then you have Connor that's around.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's just a lot of guys out there that we want to see that I think deserve a true shot at being on staff that I think are just as good as any other assistant coach you could go hire out there.
Yeah.
I mean, to me personally, Eric Kimry.
Yeah.
Eric is offensive minded. Listen, I'll never forget this. When we were in college, just hearing Kimry talk about football, we were like, dude, Kimry's going to be a great coach one day. Obviously, he has. He's won like 47.
Just won a state title. Just won another one.
Yeah. So, but that was more of our sentiment. Like, that's what we wanted to get across. We gave our list of kind of who we thought deserved, but we wanted to make sure that they cared about the university, they wanted to be here, and that former players had a chance to be within the university.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I'm just curious to get your take on this, John, because, and I could be wrong, because I mean, I don't remember much of the coaching search from 2004 or 1998, but I'm just curious to get your take. Obviously, I'm sure you love that. Obviously, and I think it probably means a lot to all the former players that, the university is getting you guys' opinion. They're getting your take on it. They're not just going about their way and picking whoever, you know what I'm saying? They're getting you guys feedback. Why do you think that's such a big point of emphasis this time around? As far as because I've heard, and I agree with you, I think the culture fit might be the most important thing here. And like you're saying, finding a guy who wants to be here, it's his dream job. It's not just a stop along the road. But I'm curious, why do you
sets the culture?
Yeah, I'm saying, why do you think? Because I don't feel like that's always been the most important thing. Like, why do you think this time around there's so much emphasis on that?
I think you see it so much more in college football today. You look at Lincoln Riley. Look at. I mean, just look at a bunch of guys who are at their university right now. Are their staffs are mostly former athletes that played there. Those teams are winning, and I don't know. I think there was some guys felt some disconnect, I guess, with this past. Not all, but I guess some felt disconnect with where we were with Coach Muschamp, which I don't totally agree with that, because Muschamp did more for the former players than's ever been done in the history of the school for former players. He took care of us. I mean, can't right now because of COVID, but I can go to the indoor any day I want, just go work out, do whatever. I've got rehab. I tore my calf, called up there. Clint Haggard took care of me, rehabbed me. It's not like I had to go pay money to go get rehabbed. I mean, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think some guys felt there was a disconnect with them, and they just want somebody that actually cares about South Carolina. And I think that's why Shane Beamer's name comes up. Yeah. I think if Shane's hired, I think you're going to see quite a bit of former players around administratively or on the coaching staff. The guy was born in the state. Yeah. And this, from everything I know, this is Shane Beamer's dream job. Like, he would love to have this job. I don't think there's anybody else on the list that would want to have this job more than him. So I think it's just all about saying, want somebody who loves this place. It's going to actually change the culture and not just talk about it.